Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Sunday, June 22nd, 2025. So, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And did you do so fairly expeditiously?
Pretty much, yes.
Nothing too tricky about today compared to the last couple of days?
No. This was pretty straightforward. I mean, it's always a longer solve on Sunday because it's a bigger puzzle.
Yep.
But this was about as typical a Sunday as you could get. I mean, it had a funny theme. The answers were all punny, which is kind of pretty typical for a Sunday. We haven't had one kind of like this lately. We've had some with black holes and other kinds of themes, but this is more the standard, I think, when it comes to Sunday puzzles.
I was thinking, and maybe I just haven't been paying too close attention, but there weren't a lot of long answers here.
No, there weren't.
And I don't know, do Sundays typically have longer answers?
Well, yeah, they do because it's a bigger puzzle.
Right.
The themed answers were all kind of longer, but the rest of it, it was pretty typical. 5 to 7 letters, a few 3s and 4s, and
right. Do you want to start by talking about the theme?
Okay. Well, the puzzle was called "Bringing a Plus One," which was a very appropriate name for this puzzle because it was all about you bring a plus one, which is to a wedding. And so all of the theme clues were wedding related. They were common wedding phrases, but the trick was there was a plus one. There was one extra letter in each of them to create a very punny answer to a very funny clue. So for example, the first one was 23 across. Make a partner's beard presentable for all the photos, and that was shave the date.
Right.
Instead of save the date, shave the date.
A pun that needs almost no explanation.
Yes. And then we had 34 across. This was one of my favorites. Cause of many headaches while planning the big day. And that was wedding duress. So I can relate to that. And then we had, 52 across. This was a funny one, too. I thought, tool for a couple who intend to return everything and keep the money. And that was a grift registry.
Yes.
So anyway, that was the theme. We also had 68 across, which was a fancy headpiece ornament, and that was feather of the bride. And then we had 86 across, which was colorful sequin jacket that the groom chose to wear, and that was something bold instead of something old.
Right.
And then finally, we had 2 more. 101 across. This one really reached. One, ensuring that each family member can invite the same number of guests, and that was party planner instead of party planner.
Right.
And finally, the last one was 117 across, parent who foolishly wore stiletto heels to a garden event, and that was mother-in-lawn.
Yes, that was... They had to put a little warning at the top of this crossword, but...
I know, they're so corny, but I don't know. I found them very funny.
They are good. Oh, actually, we missed one. 115 across. Animals escort down the aisle. Beast Man.
Yeah, Beast Man.
So, I thought for that poem, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. Was that for the groom or was that for the bride?
That's for the bride.
Okay. But it's a crossword. They don't have to be factually 100% accurate, I guess. Yes, I found this took me about an average amount of time to do. I thought there were some great clues in here. Starting with 7 across, we need to talk, and that was just a word.
Yes. Did you put see me first?
No, I had something else there, but I had to change it because of 11 down. A famous doctor who never practiced medicine was Dre.
Yes.
And then we had a counter of that, 74 across, famous doctor who never practiced medicine, and it was Seuss.
Seuss, yes.
But, I had enough letters. I had the U and the S, and I thought it's house. But I thought, well, he's a fictional doctor, but he was practicing medicine, at least fictitiously. So I backed off and switched to Seuss.
Very good.
75 across, blank is me to have seen what I have seen. And I thought it's going to be woe is me. And it was 4 letters, but I guess the quote is, oh, woe is me.
Oh, woe is me, yes. Mm-hmm.
And I thought they had another Shakespearean quote or reference somewhere in here.
They did.
And here's the problem with a 21 by 21 grid. It could be 3 hours before we find it. I'll tell you what.
Oh, it was 113 across.
Well, that was fast.
Yeah. Or 113 down, I'm sorry. Blank thy father and refuse thy name, Juliet.
Yes.
She said, deny thy father and refuse my name.
Well spotted. Mm-hmm. So sort of maybe a Shakespearean.
I knew it was kind of at the bottom there, so yeah.
Maybe a Shakespearean mini theme here. 15 down, I was completely baffled by this mudslide component, was Kahlua.
Oh, yes.
Wrong kind of mudslide, I guess. 33 down. So I looked at this. The clue was real Lulu, and the answer was oneer.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, that's got to be a debut. Guess how many times it's appeared?
10.
603 times. It appeared, the first time it appeared was when Gutenberg was sort of warming up the printing press.
Oh, my.
I was like, I cannot believe it.
Wonder.
Its heyday was in the 1980s and 90s, but it started in 1940. And what absolutely delighted me, so I guess someone who is really like outstanding or someone who's, because the clue was real Lulu. Yeah. And it's like a remarkable person, a unique individual, someone extraordinary. But way back in 1944, someone clued it as sockdolager.
Oh my goodness!
I think that's the greatest word of all time. You sockdolager, you.
Is it sockdolager?
It is sockdolager. SOCKDOL. You don't think it's dolager?
Oh yeah, it is dolager. That's very small.
I just love that word. I'm just going to try this out on everybody I know. When they say something, boy, you're a real sockdolager, you are. That will cause everybody to stop.
I think so, yes.
And that was clued by Lewis Shields in 1944, and Farrar was the editor.
Well, the 80s and 90s, I mean, that was kind of before my time of doing the crossword. But what's it been like in the 2000s? Has it been in very often in the 2000s?
It's slowed way down. I mean, well, in the 2000s, it's been around for a bit, but like since the last time it appeared was 2 times in 2020. Oh. So Will has sort of eased off on oneer. It's also apparently a sports bra. So
a sports bra.
I believe so. If I look up my active wear for women. So, or maybe it's some sort of leggings. I'm not really an expert on women's clothing. Or maybe it's just a whole company.
Maybe that's not owner.
Today's episode brought to you by a company that, first of all, we can't pronounce the name of, and we're not entirely sure about what they sell.
Looks like activewear.
Activewear, okay. All right, so.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
That was pretty interesting.
You had wedding dress for 34 across. I was sort of ignoring that question mark and thought they meant it seriously. And I had it ending in ing, and I had the second letter being an E, so I went for seating. I thought it was going to be having something to do with a seating chart and difficulties,
Oh, yes.
getting that to work.
I can see where you might think that.
But that was totally wrong.
Yeah. And that's where my mistake was. I had a mistake when I finished filling it out. And it was with 12 down, Pina Colada Vessel. And I had the CO, and I thought, and I sort of had the N, O, and N, and I thought, maybe a coronet. Isn't that a kind of a glass, a coronet? So that's what I put in. Well,
I thought that was a musical instrument.
Well, cornet is a musical, but maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, 39 across was Reeves of the Matrix. So there went my E of coronet. It had to be a coronet because that was the U of Keanu Reeves.
I never know how to spell that name. I always just start throwing random vowels throughout.
No, I always remember it because it's just like my name with a U at the end. Instead of Jean, it's Keen. Keen U.
Perhaps you could use that as sort of an intro and maybe you get to meet the famous
Oh, that would
person.
be great.
Hey, we've got the same name. Almost.
But anyway, it turned out to be coconut.
Coconut, yes.
Coconut. I've never had a pina colada in a coconut, but I guess they serve them that. And that second C crossed with 25 across, which I did not know the answer to. Poet hired to write the couple's vows in flowery. Oh, that's another theme clue. Yeah.
We missed it. There are so many of them.
Hired to write the couple's vows in flowery verse. I thought it was a real person. It was cash barred instead of cash bar.
Yes.
Cash barred.
Yep.
Oh, good grief. Anyway, I sort of got messed up there, but I figured it out soon enough.
You recovered.
He still answered in much less time than it usually takes me to do a puzzle. So
There's some other good clues around. 43 down, vintage racket, wine fraud.
Yes.
I would be such a sucker for that because I wouldn't be able to tell a good wine from Diet Coke. It'd be like, here's a $1 million bottle of wine. I'd be like, whatever, if you say so. I would just be fall right into that. We had 56 across, where inner truth is seen clearly. X-ray lab.
Yes.
That was brilliant.
That was a terrific clue.
And so was 46 across. Lay low? Question mark. Inter.
Yes.
That was nicely done. Let's see what else. Oh, so 96. I do not know what I was thinking when I was doing this. I really have to start doing these crosswords during the day when I'm awake. 96 across. Trojan War King. I had it starting off with PRI, and I went for Prius. And then I realized the Trojan War King probably didn't have a Prius around. I mean, where would he plug it into? My kingdom for a plug. And anyways, it was Priam as opposed to Prius.
Right.
Felt pretty embarrassed about that. But not so embarrassed that I'm not unwilling to mention it during the podcast. Let's see. We had...
105 down. Motorsports Hall of Famer Bobby. And I thought, I know this. It's Unzer.
Yes, yeah.
But it was Rahal.
Right.
Bobby Rahal. I've never heard of him. And he's a Hall of Famer.
Me neither. I wonder what motorsport he participated in.
I don't know.
Oh, well. Bobby Rahal. I bet some of our listeners know. Any Bobby Rahal fans out there?
Yeah.
Let us know. crosswordpodcast@icloud.com. Around there we had 111 across, umpire's call. So I thought it was going to be, first I thought safe, then I thought out, but it turned out it was let.
Yes.
It's like wrong kind.
Kind of umpire.
Yeah. Okay. I think that is it for today.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Yes.
Hope you enjoyed this podcast and all the others that we do. Let us know, crosswordpodcast@icloud.com. We will be back again with our cutting edge analysis of Monday's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.